Hello. Welcome to my opinion, episode 17, which is entitled Justice. And the reason why I entitled this one Justice is because of the recent conviction of Derek Chauvin and the murder case of him murdering George Floyd. This conviction was long overdue. This conviction was a culmination of police violence and brutality against black people, and a lot of them was going no convictions, no punishment. They were getting away with it. But this conviction shows me that there are people out there that see that this is wrong and see the injustice of police brutality and racial bias. This conviction was Freddie Gray, Sandra Bland, Tamir Rice, Sean Bell, Aladul Ablo, and countless others that I failed to mention. Their life was taken from them due to police brutality and racism, flat out racism. This was a culmination of things. Malcolm X said before, when you got a powder keg and keep building up, it explodes. This was an explosion of black people, brown people, white people, everybody saying that we're tired of this. This isn't right. Now, do I think George Floyd, I think Derek Chauvin got the most time that he could have got? Nah. He could have got more time, 22.5 years. But it's a start. That they're finally starting to hold police accountable for their actions against African Americans and minorities. What this verdict says to me is that now they're starting to hear us. They're starting to have compassion for us and what we're going through every day in our neighborhoods and our communities. We're under siege by the very same people that's supposed to protect and defend. Now, I'm going to say this, and this I do mean from the bottom of my heart. Police officers do a very dangerous and difficult job. They're underpaid and they're asked to put their life on the line for people that they don't know. Do I respect the police? I definitely respect the police. I definitely respect the police. Do I think there's a need for police? Yes, there definitely is. All of this when people running around saying, defund the police, defund the police. Nah, that's crazy. If you didn't have the police, you have anarchy. There'll be nobody to stop people to committing the lawless acts. But it's the 1% of police that does things like Derek Chauvin that make the other 110% of police look bad. For the most part, Police do their job. They're respectable. They go home. And that's their main goal. To get home to their family. I'm going to do my job. But their main goal is to get home to their family. So I'm not going to turn this into a Passion Police podcast. Because I know in my past episodes, I've been a little critical of police. But you have to understand where I'm coming from as a minority. And dealing with some of these police officers in my community that abuse their power. There's a lot of them that abuse their power, and it can go from 0 to 60 real fast. I back in 1998, I think it was. Me and a couple of friends of mine, we was having a problem with some guys. Needless to say, they jumped one of my friends. So they jumped one of my friends, and we go up there to back up my friend. We ready to fight or whatever. Y'all jumped on my man, so we gotta go and protect him. Blah, blah, blah. So we go up there that night. I get on the elevator. We talking. It's in the projects down West Philly. And we talking. Somehow, the word got back to the housing authority cops. Not the city police, the housing authority cops. That I had a gun on me. I had a gun on me. I had no gun on me. We came there to fight that night. We wanted to fight. Let's get busy. We wasn't trying to shoot nothing. We really wasn't into that. And we didn't think these guys would take it to that point that we was beefing with. Anyhow, I comes out of my friend's house on the 10th floor. The cops come up on 2 different staircases. One come from this way, one come from that way. Me and another friend, we run back in the house. So he bangs on the door and say, y'all gotta come out, blah, blah, blah. So we come out. He threw me up against the wall and put a gun in my face. He got a gun pointing straight in my face. Yeah, what you doing in here, blah, blah, blah. Don't you fucking move, blah, blah, blah. All this craziness. So my other friend come out the house and said, why you got a gun in his face? So he arguing with him like, you shut the F up. Meanwhile, his hand shaking in front of my face. Now I'm looking at my friend saying, Jesus Christ, don't argue with this guy. This guy might slip and shoot me in my face. Needless to say, that was one of my interactions with a cop. Not a city cop, not a city of Philadelphia cop, but a housing authority cop. How he was quick to point a gun in my face. The gun could have went off and I could have been dead. I could have been gone right now. I think police got to be trained on how to interact with people. And I know they have a dangerous job, and I know safety comes first. But you can't just pull your gun out and put it in people's faces and everything go to a gun. You have taser gun, you have pepper spray, you have batons. There's other things that you could use other than pulling out a gun. By the grace of Allah, I'm still here now, breathing. Gun didn't go off. He didn't find no gun. So he kicked me out the projects, told me don't come back. That's the one thing he did do. Kicked the couples out that night. So this is justice. But we still have a long way to go. We still have a big problem in America with police brutality. And racial profiling and racism. But it's a start. The journey of a million miles start with one step. It's definitely a start. And I think now police would think just a little bit before they de-escalate a problem, and they can morph and blow up into something bigger than what it was. Everything, you ain't gotta pull out your gun. Everything, when you got a person restrained, you ain't gotta put your foot on their neck. When you got them restrained, they ain't handcuffed, they restrained. You still got your foot on his neck. The Rodney King beating. Not one time during that footage did they try to restrain him, man. They just continued to beat and beat and beat. They didn't try to handcuff him, take him into custody, anything. So some of you cops, now you see what's the punishment for taking someone's life, for hurting someone, for maiming someone. It's a new day. You're not just going to get swept this under the rug no more. You're going to be held accountable and responsible for your actions. And this gives me so much hope for America. Because just by convicting a white officer of killing a black man, that's a big step into the right direction. For them seeing that this wrong, I don't care how you put it, it's wrong. You can't have your foot on the man's neck while the man's begging. I can't breathe, I can't breathe. I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And the man telling you and begging you is getting lower and lower. I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. Until it gets so low that you can't hear him no more. This grown man was begging for his mother. A grown man crying for his mother. And still, you still knelt on his neck. This was reckless. And an intentional act. I believe he should have got more time. But okay, 22 years. It's a start. Because a lot of other murders, the cops got away with no conviction, no nothing. They still brought him on the job and everything. Whether it be Freddie Gary, Tamir Rice, Sean Bell, Sandra Bland, and countless others that I didn't even name. They just got away with it. Swept it under the rug. Then they wonder why Colin Kaepernick kneeling. Huh? You worrying about him kneeling? Then people losing their lives? You worrying about him kneeling, you're not worrying about why he's kneeling and what he's taking the knee for and against. People were losing their lives to the very same people that's supposed to protect and preserve and serve. This conviction was justice in its purest form. It can't bring George Floyd back. And I feel sorry for George Floyd. My condolences for George Floyd's family and friends. Can't bring him back. But what it does send is a message. And the message is, you out there doing wrong, you're bringing harm to people, you will be convicted. And you will have to face the consequences of your actions. This is what it says. I was a little leery about him being convicted because the history of cops and people getting away with this type of thing. I mean, Rodney King thing, you had it on tape. Not one time did they try to subdue it or take this man into custody. They said, well, he was fighting back. He was resisting arrest. All that man was doing was covering up, trying to stop y'all from beating the hell out of him with batons. They got away with it. They got away with it. It took for President Bush, one, to say we want to take him up on federal charges. And people riding out in the streets. Because this is wrong. People are tired. I think it was Fannie Lee Hamer. Hope I'm saying her name right. The civil rights activist from Mississippi. She said we tired of being sick and tired. And this was in the 60s. But she said this. There comes a point where you're not just going to keep coming beating and killing and mistreating people. Like Malcolm X said, it's a powder keg. And eventually it will explode. And that was the rioting of last summer. That was the rioting in 92 behind the what's the name? You get tired of it. It's a slap in the face of anybody, not just black people, anybody. When you see them beating Rodney King on tape, and still a jury said, well, they innocent. They did nothing wrong. How the hell is that? You see them just constantly pummeling this man and beating this man. Freddie Gray, this man telling you, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. They started choking the man. They don't let go of the choke. They get tighter and tighter. Tamir Rice, 13-year-old playing on a playground with a water pistol. And you open up on him. Sean Bell, day before his wedding, he goes out to a strip club or whatever in New York. Now he goes out to a strip club. He's like, little bachelor thing, whatever. He's sitting in the car. They let go all up in the car, and kill the man a day before his wedding. Ala do Diablo. Hope I'm saying his name right. He reaches in his pocket to get his ID out. They shoot him 41 times. 41 times. Nothing's done. So these cases start to build up, and nothing's being done about black lives. Black people losing their lives. So at some point, people get tired. People want to take a stand up against this type of stuff. And we need to bring it into it. And hopefully by this conviction, they would think and be mindful. I go to jail for this. I gotta go by the letter of the law. I gotta detain him, lock him up, and turn him over to the courts. But I can't go no further. Because you see what happened. Another thing too, camera phones, I think is a direct invasion of privacy. Because anybody can take the picture or tape you any moment of the day. You could be doing something that you don't want nobody to see. As long as you got the camera phone, you can put it up there and tape somebody or take their picture and put it up. Now, police have to be mindful that everybody has cameras. Everybody can pull out their phone and start taping. Then they can send that tape to a news agency. Or they can post that tape up on Facebook or Instagram, YouTube. So now eyes are watching y'all. Watching how y'all conduct yourselves. Watching how y'all treat people. So now, the spotlight is on y'all. So you have to go by the letter of the law. You have to treat everybody fair. Treat everybody equal. And like I said, this is not about cops. I'm not bashing cops. I'm bashing the bad ones. But the majority of the cops, I believe, in my opinion, are good. Very good people. But it's just the bad ones that we gotta weed out. And we gotta eliminate. The ones that cut corners and disrespect and mistreat people because of the color of their skin. The neighborhood they live in. Those are the ones that we have to get rid of. So this conviction to me was justice. That's why I named this one Justice. It was justice in its purest form. It was justice long overdue. And it truly was justice for all. Thank you. Like, subscribe, share. This podcast is growing. Hopefully it can grow more and more. And I can start implementing people calling in and giving their thoughts and views on the topics that I bring to the table. Thank you. Bye.